Good evening and welcome to the Sports Debate. I am Matthew Fournier. And
I'm David Cabrera.
We got a lot of topics to cover tonight, so let's get started. What do you think about March Madness and the matchups for this weekend's Final Four?
You know what, man? Syracuse's defense they've been looking tough all tournament. And we've been talking about this for like the past couple of weeks. You know, they've been shutting people down. They shut Indiana down.
That 2-3 zone.
Yeah, 2-3 zone is ridiculous. They held Marquette to 39 points in a game. Like that's kind of unheard of. Well, it's not unheard of in college.
Because Syracuse got held to 39 against Georgetown.
Exactly, my point. But I would say if there's probably like one team besides Louisville, and we're gonna get to that matchup later, it would probably be Michigan. And I like Michigan because of Trey Burke. And it's because of his intangibles.
Yeah.
Because he's a leader.
He should be Player of the Year.
Very true, very true. I mean, you have Otto Porter, but he hasn't been doing much. Got knocked out in the first round by Florida Gulf Coast. But yeah, I mean, he's a leader. He's clutch. I mean, he proved it against Kansas, my other pick to make the championship game. Kind of mad about that. But and they talk about how it's a big three, but it's really a big four for Michigan, though. It's Burke, it's Tim Hardaway Jr., Glenn Robinson III, and Mitch McGary. McGary is a freshman, man, and he just puts up stats. He gets rebounds, he gets points in the paint, like he does it all. And then they have this other freshman, Nick Stauskas, if I got his name right, who backs up Trey Burke. He had 22 against Florida.
So Michigan's young talent's finally coming through.
Exactly. But the question is, are they going to do it on a big stage?
Against Syracuse.
The bright lights against that 2-3
zone
exactly.
is very tough, as we've seen throughout the course of its years with Jim Boeheim. It's his signature set. It's what Syracuse is known for. Gives teams headaches. Look at Indiana, 50-something points. They average about 80. Look at they just shut teams down. It's like teams don't know how to attack the 2-3 zone. The problem is Michigan doesn't just stand right behind the three-point line. They extend their offense outwards, and they can shoot from anywhere on the court. So that's going to cause Syracuse to spread it out, which is going to give Michigan the ability to attack it.
Very true.
So it should be interesting to see this matchup.
Because, I mean, Syracuse is long. They have Michael Carter-Williams. He's
CJ
long. Fair. They have Trish that can shoot the three.
Sutherland
that can shoot the three. So it's just going to be a matchup of athleticism.
And you also have to look at it this way.
What's up?
Syracuse is older, and older brings experience. Most of the time, you would argue that.
Well, Kentucky last year, but that was a very talented team.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look,
you can't always say that.
First-round draft picks. I mean, that's a rare exception to the rule, which there always are the rare exception. But I think Syracuse has it, and it's going to be Syracuse playing for the title on Monday night.
And I think it's going to be a close game, but I think Syracuse takes it. So on to the next matchup, Louisville versus Wichita State.
The true Cinderella, I guess you could say, besides Florida Gulf Coast, Wichita State out of the Missouri Valley Conference. No one really expected them to do much, maybe make a couple rounds in the tournament.
Yeah, I think that was right. Yeah, I mean, they're expected to make it past the second round because they beat Pitt. But then they played against Gonzaga. And nobody was really picking them to beat Gonzaga. But I think we both knew that Gonzaga was going to be out of the tournament.
Because Gonzaga plays in a worse conference than the Missouri Valley and the West Coast Conference. So, I mean.
Well, Wichita State plays in Missouri Valley.
Yeah, but Missouri Valley is known to produce those Cinderella teams.
Very true, very true. And as far as Wichita State, if you want to talk about experience, they Malcolm Armstead, their point guard, senior. Then you have Carl Hall, who's a beast inside, who's also a senior. And then you have these freshman guards, Fred Van Velt and then Ron Baker.
Yeah.
And they both can shoot it, both can go inside. That's proven in the Ohio State
And they
game.
also have length, too.
Exactly. So
it's
going to be because Louisville hasn't been challenged yet in the tournament.
That is true.
Their average margin of victory is over 19 points a game.
Yeah. And going back to the whole 19 points, the momentum swing in that Duke game, as much as it's bad to say, it was Kevin Ware breaking his leg, because that gave them kind of an emotional, let's get to Atlanta, let's get there, let's win this. And you could tell once that happened, Louisville was ready to play. It looked like they didn't look ready to play up until that point. They were too scared that they were going to miss too many shots or they were going to make too many mistakes. Once that happened, Louisville calmed itself down and played like they played all year. And they produced, 80-something points, 85, 84?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and they held Duke to 60.
Yeah, well, yeah.
They won by 22. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
And then you have Russ Smith, man. And I've been telling you, this guy is for real, averaging 26 throughout the entire tournament, man. Like, this dude can bust inside, can shoot it. He does everything he has everything that you want in the guard. And then you have Peyton Siva, who I say is the X factor.
Yeah,
Because he
he's
brings
so
that senior
quick.
leadership. He's very quick.
He destroyed Quinn Cook.
Yes.
He blew by the whole Duke defense. If you watch that game, it wasn't pretty at all.
Yeah, I know it was
So Syracuse, Louisville, who do you got?
I got Louisville, man. That's my championship team, so you already know.
I like Louisville. I just don't think Boeheim's defense will be able to react fast enough in that 2-3 zone.
Oh, so you got Louisville for the championship?
Yeah, I got Louisville as well.
So, yeah, on to the next topic, which is the Kevin Ware injury. So, do you think that's the gruesomest injury you've probably ever seen?
It's up there along with the Sean Livingston, where he broke his kneecap and tore his ACL.
And he was screaming.
Yeah.
I still remember the YouTube video. Oof.
And some of the ACL injuries that we see.
Yeah.
Norland Newell, when he tore it against Florida, he hit the pad underneath the basket and it just looked like his knee just went backwards. And that just doesn't look good. But nothing can top a bone sticking out of your skin. Like, that just was a bad freak play.
Like, I didn't really see it until I looked on Instagram, like later on in the day, or later on the night, I should say, because I saw it on TV, and I was like, ooh, that looks bad. And then I saw it on Instagram, I was like, woo! Yeah, he's not getting up.
Yeah, like when they replayed the replay and they focused more on him than the Thornton shot.
Yeah.
Like, you saw his knee, and then you saw his knee like be 90 degrees, and you know something's not right because your knee's not supposed to be 90 degrees.
Exactly.
Like, you figured something was wrong, and then how the players were reacting, it just didn't look good.
Like, you had a couple of players almost throw up. The fans were like, just
everybody
had
was
their heads turned.
Louisville was Rick Pitino. Crying, but that's good that they're back to Atlanta. He's going to travel with the team, so he's going to be there as a kind of supplement reward for, being there.
Exactly, because I mean, he was doing very well in the tournament. He had like 20 before that Duke game, or above 20 points, I should say. But another injury that was probably as gruesome. I mean, you talk about Sean Livingston. I talk about Willis McGahee in football in Miami.
Back in Miami, his knee that was
almost like.
That was the game changer for that game.
Because they didn't have a running game after that. But I mean, that's another topic.
Yeah.
We're talking about injuries, but. And then you have Lattimore from South Carolina this year. Back-to-back years. And then that one was more gruesome than last year because, like, his whole entire leg was, like, just dangling there. So, but obviously, that Ware injury was just something that we've probably never seen before. And hopefully we never see again.
Yeah. All right. Going on to the next topic, Derrick Rose. Why is he not back yet? Is it more mental, or is it are the Bulls just shutting him down for the year?
I'd probably say it's more mental, but if you're the Bulls, do you want to get your star player hurt? Do you want to risk an injury? But, I mean, I probably have to bring back the Michael Jordan comparison. Not that he's Michael Jordan, but Jordan broke his foot and then came back for a couple of games late in the season, and then he put up 63 against the Celtics in the first round. And they lost that series, but again, and then he didn't get injured. He didn't have a major injury in his career after that. So I would probably have to think it's more mental because he's talking about how he needs to be able to dunk off his left foot or his both feet. Yeah.
But what concerns me is it's more mental for the fact that when you see a Bulls game on ESPN or whatever, they always show D Rose warming up before the game, and I've seen him dunk off his left foot or go up off his left foot, and he looks fine. I think it's the fact that he's not going up full speed against a defender, matching him, putting up his will against, each other's will, and I think it's mental because he hasn't played in almost a year of competitive basketball. He's been just going up himself layups and whatnot.
Very true.
So he hasn't had that game experience. Maybe what Tom Thibodeau, the Bulls coach, should do is scrimmage, put Luol Deng on him or Jakeem Noah.
I think he has scrimmaged though. There has been photos of him scrimmaging.
Okay.
So.
But maybe they weren't going at full speed because if they're saying go 50% at it, then he's gonna be okay. But he needs to go that full 100% to feel what it's like to be back in a game situation.
And the Bulls have clinched a playoff spot though. They're the number 6 seed right now, and then they're 6th spot. So they would potentially be going against the Knicks And the Knicks have been on a nice little winning streak.
They play Miami tonight.
And they play Miami tonight. Yeah.
Wade and Bosch and
Wade, Bosch, and
Wade and LeBron and Chalmers are
Chalmers
sitting
are
out
out. That's
tonight.
right. But
that's a different story.
That's a different story. But yeah, man. I mean, the Bulls are in the 6th spot. They're like in the playoffs. They're entrenched in it. They already clinched. So
why not bring him back and let him get the feel of it, even if it's 5 minutes a game? Because let's say your team can adapt to it, then you can pull the upset against New York, and maybe something magical can happen.
Well, do you want to? Well, now in this day and age of like the what ifs.
Yeah. Because if you don't play him, then the coach gets blamed, and if you do play him,
then the coach gets blamed. So either way, the coach gets blamed.
Well, he only gets blamed if he gets hurt again, and then Chicago goes up and roar and wants Thibodeau out because of the decision.
So.
But it's not as bad as if they weren't in the playoffs, Like if
very
they
true,
weren't
very true. They weren't in the playoffs. Yeah, it'd be like, why didn't they play him sooner?
Yeah.
But now it's just like, when do you bring him back if he wants to come back? That's the key. If he wants to come back, he would have been back already. So it's all up to the player at this point.
Yeah, because he's been medically cleared.
Yeah.
It's
all up to him because the coach is like, we're just waiting on him. We're just trying to see.
But I think part of him doesn't want to come back because there's only 10 games left in the playoffs and the Bulls are fine without him, and he doesn't want to, like we've been talking about,
jeopardize
get hurt
chemistry
and then come back and have to prolong his comeback.
Very
and
true.
Maybe what if he tears it? We've seen RG3 return the same ACL that he tore in college, even though it's 4 years down the road. This would be back to back.
Very true. But like I said, man, we'll see. He could come back. Everything could be fine. He could come back. Another setback. So, yeah. I mean, that's just an interesting story to keep an eye out for. But in other NBA news, man, the Heat streak is over. Against
that Bulls team that we're just talking about.
Yeah, or the Chicago Bears, really.
Yeah, because the Bears, I mean, now you got me saying that the Bulls played the Heat very physical, and there were some questionable flagrant fouls that were not called, like LeBron getting tackled, driving to the lane.
Yeah,
Kurt Heinrich.
That was pretty funny though.
I mean, I think LeBron has a case there, but then again, you shouldn't retaliate the way he did by lowering his shoulder into Carlos Boozer.
And Boozer, the funny part is that Boozer did not even move. Yeah. Boozer was just looking at him like, really though? Really, man? Come on.
So were you impressed with the Bulls win, or more?
I was impressed.
Less impressed by how the Heat handled being in that situation, LeBron doing the stupidity that he did?
I'm more impressed by the Bulls, honestly, because they didn't. Noah was not even playing. It was just Boozer and Nate Robinson, Heinrich, Muhammad, not their main guy. Well, some of their main guys, but not all of their main guys were
Rip
playing.
Hamilton's out. That's their two guard.
Very true.
And it's like their full healthy team without Rose isn't even part of that win. So it makes a statement that anybody can win any given day, but also that Miami is beatable.
Yeah, Miami is beatable, but again, we'll see when playoff time comes.
Are they the favorites?
They're still the favorite. If you're winning by 11 games in your conference, if there's just a wide margin between you and the other teams in this league.
Yeah, but there's a wide margin between the 07 Patriots and the second place team, and they lost.
Well, very true. But we're talking about different sports here. But I understand.
Still, if they're up by that much, why don't we just crown them champions right now?
We're not crowning them champions. That's why they play the playoffs.
Exactly.
That's why you play the game. Yeah. So, but obviously they're the favorites. They have to be because then you have the Spurs, and that's like the team that everybody's picking them to face besides Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City
will beat the Spurs just like they beat them last year.
I don't know.
I don't think they're as good as they were last year with Harden not there.
I think Harden's the X factor.
I think their chemistry is out of whack in OKC.
But we'll see, man. Again, that's why you play. That's why you play these games, man, just to see what happens. Because, like you said, on any given day, any given week, as series goes, you just never know what's gonna happen. You never know who's gonna win. You never know who's gonna lose. Never know who's gonna lose.
Yes. All right, we're gonna head to commercial, and we'll be back with NFL news, the women's side of basketball, and expectations for the Nats and O's.